There are some players whose careers become symbols of an entire era, not because they were the biggest stars or because they won the most awards, but because they were there every single day, quietly doing the job while a franchise searched for its next great chapter. Horace Clarke was one of those players. Born on the island of St. Croix in the United States Virgin Islands, Clarke reached the major leagues at a time when very few players from the Virgin Islands had made that journey. There wasn't even Little League on St. Croix when he was growing up. He first learned the game playing softball, and one of the stories that followed him throughout his life was how he became a switch hitter. The field where he played sat near the water, and the local kids learned that batting left-handed made it much harder to drive the ball into the ocean. Clarke simply learned to hit from both sides. That's baseball. Sometimes great careers begin with practical solutions. Necessity is the mother of invention. The New York Yankees signed Clarke in 1958, and he spent 7 seasons working his way through their minor league system before finally earning his opportunity in 1965. His first major league hit came in the very first at bat at Fenway Park, a single off Boston's Dave Moorhead. That's not a bad way to announce yourself. After Bobby Richardson retired, Clarke inherited one of the toughest assignments in baseball, becoming the Yankees' everyday second baseman. Imagine replacing a longtime fan favorite in New York during a period when every Yankee was measured against the legends who came before him. The dynasty years had faded, but the expectations never did. Clarke wasn't flashy. He wasn't known for towering home runs. He wasn't going to fill highlight reels. Instead, he became something every successful club needs: dependable. Year after year, he took his place at second base, played almost every day, and gave the Yankees stability in the middle of the diamond. Defensively, he became one of the American League's most underrated second basemen. He led league second baseman in assists for 6 consecutive seasons, led putouts 4 straight years, and twice led the league in double plays while finishing among the American League leaders almost every season during his prime. When criticism followed him throughout his career, some believed he was too cautious when trying to complete the double play if a hard slide was coming towards second base. But here's what's interesting. Despite that reputation, Clarke twice led the league in turning double plays and finished among the American League leaders every season from 1967 through 1973. His reputation became bigger than the reality. One thing nobody questioned was his durability. In 1970, he came to the plate 732 times and led all of Major League Baseball in official at-bats. Managers knew exactly what they were getting. Horace Clarke was going to be in the lineup. That same season produced one of the most remarkable oddities in baseball history. Within about a month, Horace Clarke broke up 3 separate no-hit bids in the ninth inning. Think about those odds. One ninth-inning hit that spoils a no-hitter is memorable. 3 in a single season is extraordinary. Joe Mauer would eventually tie the career mark, breaking up 3 ninth-inning no-hitters between 2008 and 2013. But he needed 6 years to do it. Clarke needed about a month. More than half a century later, nobody has matched that. Clarke also had one of baseball's most recognizable batting stances, standing with his feet spread unusually wide before every pitch. It wasn't textbook, but it became part of his identity. As the Yankees fell short year after year during the late 60s and early 70s, sports writers eventually began calling that period the Horace Clarke era. That was never fair to Horace Clarke. He didn't create the circumstances surrounding those Yankee teams. He simply happened to be the everyday second baseman during the years between the Mantle dynasty and the championship clubs that would arrive later in the decade. He answered the bell every day. On May 31st, 1974, the Yankees sold Clarke's contract to the San Diego Padres for $25,000. He finished his major league career in San Diego before retiring after the season. But baseball never left him. He returned to the Virgin Islands to help teach the game to young players, passing along everything he had learned. Later, he worked as an associate scout for the Kansas City Royals, helping identify the next generation of talent. Baseball remained a family affair as both of his sons, Jeff and J.D., went on to play professionally in the minor leagues. Horace Clarke's career reminds us that baseball history isn't only written by Hall of Famers. It's also written by everyday players, players who answer the bell, players who anchor a position for years, players who represent their hometowns and their islands with pride, players whose consistency earns the respect of teammates, even if history sometimes overlooks them. Horace Clarke appeared in more major league games than any other player from the United States Virgin Islands, and for nearly a decade he was the steady heartbeat of the Yankees infield. He may never have sought the spotlight, but he earned the respect of teammates, opponents, and generations of fans who appreciated players that showed up every day, played the game right, and quietly became part of baseball history. I'm Mr. Baseball, and this has been Players, a Smell Baseball podcast.